When Sarah moved into the old farmhouse on the outskirts of Elridge Hollow, she was looking for peace, a place to breathe after the whirlwind of a failed relationship and a demanding job in the city. The house, built in the 1800s, had charm. Creaky wooden floors, antique doorknobs, a clawfoot tub, and a massive mirror in the upstairs hallway. It was the mirror that caught her attention on the first tour. It was tall, framed in tarnished brass, its surface aged with slight warps and dark corners. The realtor called it a relic from the original owners. And though Sarah found it oddly unsettling, she was drawn to it, as if it were watching her. Still, she moved in the following week. That first night, Sarah unpacked until past midnight. The house was quiet. Too quiet. The kind that presses in on your ears and makes every creak seem like a whisper. As she walked past the upstairs hallway mirror to head to bed, she thought she saw movement in its reflection. She paused, looked again. Nothing. Just her own tired face and the hallway behind her. She shrugged it off as fatigue. But that night, as she lay in bed drifting to sleep, she heard a knock, knock, knock. Slow, deliberate, echoing faintly. She bolted upright. It wasn't the front door. It sounded like it came from inside. She waited, breath held. Silence. The next morning, she chalked it up to the house settling. Over the next week, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that she wasn't alone. She'd walk past the mirror and catch something out of the corner of her eye, a figure behind her, only to turn and see nothing. Then the dreams started. She would wake up drenched in sweat, heart pounding. The dreams were always the same. She'd be standing in front of the hallway mirror, staring into it. Her reflection would start to smile, even though she wasn't smiling. Then the reflection would step forward, closer to the glass, and whisper something she couldn't understand. When she finally awoke, she could still hear the whispering for a few moments, like it was fading out of her room. One night, she left a camera recording the mirror overnight. The next day, she checked the footage. For the first few hours, nothing happened, just the hallway bathed in moonlight. But around 3:13 a.m., static began to flicker across the screen. A dark shape appeared in the mirror. Slowly, it took the form of a man, tall, featureless, black as a void, with no face. He stood there, unmoving, until 3:19 a.m. Then, he raised a hand and pointed directly at the camera, and the footage cut to black. Sarah began to avoid the mirror entirely. She covered it with a sheet, but every morning, she'd wake to find the sheet crumpled on the floor, as if something, or someone, had pulled it off. One morning, the mirror had changed. There was now something written in the bottom right corner, scrawled into the glass as if etched with a blade. "Let me out." That night, she called her friend Maya, a paranormal researcher, and begged her to come stay over. Maya arrived with EMF readers, sage, and a skeptical grin. "Most of these things can be explained," she said. "Old houses have stories." But that night, as they reviewed live footage of the hallway, Maya turned pale. "Sarah," she whispered. "He's back." The tall man was in the mirror again. He wasn't moving, just watching. His head tilted slightly, like he knew they were looking at him. Then slowly he lifted a hand and pressed it against the glass from the inside. Moments later, a loud thump echoed from upstairs. They both ran up. The mirror was uncovered again. But now, it wasn't a reflection. It was a window. The hallway shown in the glass wasn't theirs. It looked wrong. Darker. Office. In the background, they saw the figure standing at the far end, moving toward them. Maya tried to leave the next morning, but her car wouldn't start. Her phone wouldn't turn on either. Sarah's electronics were dead too. That night, the whispering began again. Only this time, it wasn't just in her dreams. It echoed from the hallway. Sarah and Maya stood in front of the mirror, clutching each other's hands. The whispers grew louder, turning into harsh, gurgling laughter. The mirror cracked, not from an impact, but from inside. Long, jagged lines stretched across it like veins. Then the glass buckled, like something was pressing through. They backed away in horror as a black hand began to emerge from the glass. The lights flickered. Then suddenly, the mirror shattered completely. But instead of glass raining down, there was only darkness. A cold wind surged into the house, and Sarah screamed as Maya was pulled forward into the gaping black frame where the mirror used to be. Then everything went still. Aftermath. The authorities found Sarah the next day, standing barefoot in the hallway, covered in dust and glass fragments, staring at the broken mirror. She didn't speak, didn't blink. They said her eyes looked empty. They searched the house but found no sign of Maya. Her car was still parked outside, her bags unpacked. Sarah was placed in a psychiatric facility. She never spoke again, except once. A nurse claimed that one night, she passed Sarah's room and heard whispering. When she opened the door, Sarah was standing in front of the room's mirror, grinning widely. She turned slowly and said, "He's still in there, but he wants more." A month later, a young couple bought the house, unaware of its history. The mirror had been replaced, but the day they moved in, the wife noticed something strange, etched faintly into the bottom right corner of the new mirror. One got away. That night, their daughter woke up screaming. "He was in my room," she said. "The man in the mirror. He smiled at me."